First of all, I would like to thank Sanjay and the organizers to give me an opportunity to talk to you and what we have been doing in India. In India, we have evolved now concept what we call as a national GIS, and that is the major program of the government of India, which is under different process of approval. The main purpose of the national GIS is to facilitate the decision making, and this decision can be for the governance or for the enterprise or for the citizen. So it encompasses a very large area, and hence the basic idea is that the policy should be directed towards the sustainable development. My earlier esteemed speaker also mentioned about that. Now, as we know that the decision making depends upon the relationships between different objects or different processes or different phenomena or different functions. If we say, in other words, the relationship between the different physical features or objects or the climate, the natural resources, infrastructure, industry, governance, and people has to be established. So many applications or decision making depends on the interrelationship between these aspects. So the policymaker has to address the three basic systems. One is the global system or the earth system, the social system, and the human system. The earth system, as we define as a part of the atmosphere or an ocean or a cryosphere, geosphere or biosphere, which essentially provides us energy, resources, and the ecosystem to survive. So essentially it is the scientific aspect that the data you need on the variety of the functions of the natural processes which are occurring. And we need to have the complete understanding about the natural processes which are happening. The social system is essentially the political, economic, and industrial structures which we created essentially to advance our development, and the other system like health and education which we created essentially to improve our quality of life. So what kind of a social system we have, that is also equally important. And of course, lastly, we need to link both the natural system or the earth system and the social system to improve the quality of life of the human being. So the people. Once we link all the three systems, it is likely to happen that because we took care of the environment, we took care of the people's requirement, we took care of the kind of structures which we need, we are likely to achieve the goal of a sustainable development. The most places, the current policies primarily relates to generating of the primary data, which could be satellite-based or aircraft-based or in situ or a field survey, and their access to the various users. But I think what we need as a policy is to address the various anticipated application needs through which we can develop the various information system and ultimately the decision support system. So policy, in my view, should address the various issues related to creating, updating, maintaining databases of all the three systems, the standards, how to collect, how to exchange, the analysis and modeling of the data which has been collected. We also need large amount of computing and networking to collect the data, to disseminate the information, and ultimately decision support system and the capacity building for people to take that information and use for the sustainable development. If you look at the database, there are many agencies which have been generating the primary data. But most of this data are not in a GIS-ready form. And I think we need to have a policy where whatever the information is generated is in GIS-ready form. The content should be such that it meets the demand from a global to regional to national to the local levels. As the theme of this, our today's talk is not only national but as a regional, I think the content, we need to see that it meets the demands right from at different levels. We also need to create different models. I won't go into details, but especially the spatio-temporal models, which is very critical because there is large amount of information which is dynamic. Mostly we are trying to suggest the static kind of information. But I think as the time goes, we would need more and more dynamic information to be integrated, and we need extremely good spatio-temporal models. The analysis and modeling, the major issue today is how do we integrate and harmonize the different data sets. We may be getting data from satellite images or video images or from a LiDAR or from aircraft platforms or in situ platforms. So variety of the data comes, and the variety of subjects, topographic, physical, biological, sociological. So we need to build, how do we integrate them? So that is one which is very important. The second is the visualization. We have seen that how we visualize the landscape from a global scale processes to the very fine scale, the cities and buildings. But it's also important that we need to build a system to look inside the buildings, especially for some of the disasters like fire and all. So we're not necessary to see only building, but we must have the information within the building, how the power lines are going, where the water lines, and all this information is very critical. And the visualization is also important because it relates the individuals to his environment in which lives. So if the effective visualization helps us to find out what kind of an environment we are living and how we need to preserve it. Also, as I told you earlier about the spatial models, we also need a 4D modeling for the representing some of the dynamic information like air pollution, or tomorrow it may be a noise pollution. So variety of such things would be necessary. The other important aspect that we need very robust networking system, which is a broadband and completely dependable to acquire the data from the variety of the observation platforms, as well as to disseminate the information which is generated. And this also will need a very high level of a computing requirement. The decision support system, which has to be a criteria based, and this would be very specialized for different fields like agriculture or health or education, urban rural development. And this system, when you build decision support system, you acquire data from variety of platforms. You organize them in a database, you visualize this information, you model, then you disseminate. In case of, say, disaster, you provide this information to the emergency control rooms, to the government, to the local people. So entire this, from acquisition to the information, I think the GIS has a very important role. And in this, when we disseminate the information, I think the two important aspects is the web and location-based services, which is very critical to provide the information to all the people. And all this, of course, we need a large amount of the experts, professionals, and support staff to serve this kind of a system. So there are three aspects in the capacity building. We need a research, we need an education with specific, and the training of the people to build this. In all these aspects, I think the industry is extremely important, not only to build applications, but right from the generation of a primary data to build the applications. And in India, we have several examples where industry have generated their own primary data, analyzed and built the services, especially in telecommunication and transportation sectors. In conclusion, I would like to say that we must address the issues so that the GIS becomes the mainstay of our planning of the various economic, environmental, and the social programs for the inclusive development. I'm sure the current exercise and this panel discussion will enrich our resolve and our knowledge about GIS, and we should be ready to implement a GIS as a mainstay of our development for the governance as for the citizen-centric services. I'm sure that the GIS is a platform which will allow us to understand the world in much better manner. Thank you very much.